so everyone's always asking, well, how are you going to manage, multiple social media platforms? We have Instagram and Facebook business pages and our website and blogs and Instagram and Twitter and Vine and YouTube and now Periscope, which I have to say is pretty awesome. And the nice thing about Periscope is that I find that it's a great platform for not just broadcasting live and sharing things, but it's a great place if you're in the business of hosting webinars. It's a great place to kind of move some of that stuff over here. Anyways, back to my main topic. So managing multiple sources of social media. To be quite honest, it's not possible. If you as one person want to have a presence everywhere so that you don't miss your potential customer or your potential client, it is just not possible, because you will not be able to reach and commit to the audience that you have. So you can easily on your own manage one or two, and I would suggest tackle one or two. Pick the ones that you know the most. So for example, let's say Instagram, and Instagram is like second nature to you. Dominate Instagram. If you want to take on a second source and say, hey, I want to try Periscope out, make sure that you find consistency. Okay, and consistency is a word that comes up with everyone, and it's because it's true. You need to have consistency or you're gonna lose your audience. So for example, if you decide on Instagram that you post 3 to 6 times a day, your followers are expecting you there 3 to 6 times a day. If you say, okay, great, I can maintain that, and now I want to build a presence on Periscope, and I want to reach out to, a broader audience, and I want to bring and provide more impact, you need to, number one, figure out how that is. And I mean, it's still fresh, so there's still a bit of wiggle room in terms of figuring out what works, what your target audience really, really wants from you. But you still need to remember that your followers are gonna want that consistency. So if you're bringing something to the market, you need to go ahead and you need to say, okay, I'm gonna Periscope and I'm gonna broadcast every day. I don't know, let's say you want to broadcast twice a day. I would love to broadcast at least 3 to 4 times a day, but that's not realistic for me. But broadcasting at least once a day is very realistic right now for me, and I'm still kind of feeling it out. And so if that's where you want to go, I would say commit to one and see how consistent you can be. See what your audience and your following really, really likes, and continue with that momentum. But if you right now have 5 other social media platforms that you also need to be consistent on, and it's just you, something's gonna fall short. And I'm gonna tell you right now, because not only are we entrepreneurs, we are also customers and clients, and we look for these things when we want to purchase something or when we need somebody to help us out with something. And we need to make sure that people are showing up for us as well. So if we expect, our mentors to provide us with content, once a day or whatever, we need to say, okay, we need to provide our followers with the same. Now, my suggestion, and there's a lot that goes with this, and I'm not going to dive into it right now, but my suggestion is delegation. That's it. I mean, if you want to make sure that you have a presence in more than 2 or 3 platforms, and you're finding that you can't be consistent, the only person you're hurting is your well, actually, you really aren't hurting your followers, because they'll just move on to somebody else who can commit to them. You're hurting yourself. If I go to someone and I expect certain content from them, and they're bringing it, I'm going to take it all in, okay? Like, I have a confession. I am addicted to Periscope. Yes. I'm not really like a TV person. My husband is, but Periscope has me hooked. I don't even know how many people I'm following, and then if my people I'm following share somebody else's, bro, I am jumping on, I'm stopping whatever I'm doing in my life and I'm following them. I am just addicted. I love it. But I also have other social media platforms that I need to be consistent on, and I need to make sure that I'm fulfilling that schedule, right? And so if you find that you're kind of missing days and everything's moving all around, then what you need to do is delegate. If you have a blog, have a guest blogger. Have an assistant run your Facebook business page. My Twitter account, I like Twitter. I have to say I'm not the best person on Twitter because I don't know if I've specifically targeted my market per se on Twitter, but I have other platforms that feed into my Twitter. So my Twitter is updated, things are all happening, and I have different followers that need me on Twitter and that I follow on Twitter, and I have other items that feed into it. And yes, I am live, and I make sure I at least tweet once a day, and I have an update. But am I constant? Am I consistent? Have I mastered it? No, I'm not a master at it. I would love to be, but I can only put my energy into so many platforms. So right now, my energy is in finding my target market on Periscope and kind of giving everybody the content that they want. So when I get hearts and when I get an audience, I know that that's the material they're looking for. If I don't, then I move on to something else until I figure out what my following really wants to hear. Because to be quite honest, I don't want to be repeating something else that my peers are repeating. And neither should, well, I mean, I shouldn't say don't do that because we all have a different outlook and experience. So yes, it is great to, if you're doing research on something, like let's say you're like earlier on, I did a Periscope on finding out who your target customer client market is. And I kind of gave my personal 5 basic tips that I give my brand new coaches, you know, how to really build that and how just to scratch the surface and really know how to get there. And so I shared that because to me, I find that that's important content, and I think everybody should know the basis of really knowing who your clients are, who your target audience is, and being able to fulfill what it is that they come here to see. And so you know, if I find that people like that content and people tweet me back or send me messages and let me know, hey, give us some more of that info and kind of your gist of what it is that you've experienced, then that's where you go with it, okay? But in terms of managing multiple platforms, you need to really understand what the audience is in each one and make sure that you're satisfying each one. And if you find that it's too much, you either have to drop that platform, and I'm sorry, but you're going to lose the following anyways. So you can drop it and redirect them to a platform that you're dominating, or you delegate and hire someone to manage the content. You know, you provide them with what it is that you're looking for and help them make sure that things are being built there, because you have a following and you don't want to be a disappointment to that audience. So think about that and send me a message, tweet me back, let me know if this is stuff that you want to hear, and I'll know that, okay, this is the type of stuff I can provide to everyone. Have a great Monday, guys.